Lads, welcome back to Fusion YGO. It is your boy Christian, the Haver Card Man, coming back at you with another combo tutorial today. I got a few requests for this one, so I'm finally coughing up and doing it. We are doing Machina Rescue Ace, and since this deck doesn't necessarily have any set combos and it's more intended to be a more versatile build, we're actually going to do a test hand or two, and then I'm going to take you guys through some games on EDO Pro that I'm testing out, just to kind of show you rough ways of how the deck plays and the things that it's able to do. So let's go ahead and hop right into the combo tutorial. Alright, so we're just starting off here with the normal 5-card hand with Rescue Ace Machina. And actually, this is a pretty solid one. We have pretty much all the plays that we need to make. Opening Hoister and Hydrant is just like FTK. And then on top of that, we also have Machina Redeployment to get us into our Machina plays in case anything happens to our Rescue Ace stuff. So what we are allowed to do here is we're going to start off with that Rescue Ace Air Hoister because the Rescue Ace engine is the big part of this deck. The Machina engine is meant to be more supplemental than anything. So we're going to activate Air Hoister's effect, and then we're going to chain our Fire Attacker in hand, helping us chain block from Ash Blossom, so that we only have to worry about Effective Healers and Infinite Impermanences, which is really awesome. So with Air Hoister, we're going to go ahead and search out our Rescue Ace Headquarters. So from here, we can now activate our Headquarters to get an extra normal summon off of Hydrant, which will then allow us to use his effect to Rhoda from the deck and Rescue Ace Turbulence. Now in this case, since we ended up opening the Fire Attacker as well as just a spare body, we have so much ability to just combo off here. So what we're going to do actually is we're going to start off by activating Machina Redeployment. We're going to discard the Extinguish here, and there's a very good reason for that we'll get into in just a second in case you are unknowing. So we are actually going to work on grabbing some follow-up for next turn here. Actually, what might be the best option is grabbing Fortress and Citadel, just so we can get Citadel in graveyard and have a Fortress on field. Fortress on field really does do a lot. So let's go ahead and grab those two, or we can even go a Radiator Megaform if we just wanted to get Citadel straight on field. That is honestly a perfectly fine option too. So let's go for that combo, just because that is super free advantage. I guess that technically didn't really matter, but what we can do here is we can at least link off our Air Hoister and our Fire Attacker while we're thinking about it here. And then we have a ton of options. In this case, IP is probably going to be the best bet because it gives us more opportunity on our opponent's turn to be able to disrupt them, which is super good. So then now from here, since we have a Fire Attacker and our Extinguishing Grave, we can actually banish both of those for Turbulence here. This is part of the reason I wanted to Machina Redeployment first, because we can banish the Extinguish and then be able to just recycle it right back. We'll also banish, I guess the Air Hoister probably would have been better, but it is what it is. It doesn't really matter too much because we are able to recycle it through Rescue Ace Headquarters. So now that we have Turbulence on field, we can search for our Rescue Ace spells and traps, get those all set in the back row, so that we are all good to go with those. And now we have our Advantage engine online, meaning that we are able to easily out-resource our opponents now. From here, we can go ahead and use a Radiator's effect, pitching Megaform to summon himself. We do have the option with Alert and Rescue to be able to do certain things. We could, if we wanted to, use like Alert to get an extra body on field, but I don't think it's going to be necessary. So let's go ahead and summon a Radiator. Zones don't really necessarily matter as much. The only reason that we really have the IP is to be able to go into a Unicorn on our opponent's turn and get some extra disruption that way, and also set us up for an Access Code Talker play the following turn. So we'll go and use Megaform's effect here, summoning Citadel from the deck, putting in defense mode to play her on Lightning Storm. Rescue Ace Hydrant being an attack doesn't really matter because he's currently protected since we have a Rescue Ace Turbulence on field. Thanks to Turbulence being on field, we do have the ability to activate either Rescue or Alert. I suppose at this point, we'd probably want to just play it safe and activate Alert now to make sure that we have the Hydrant on field for that. So yeah, we'll go ahead and activate our Alert here to be able to add a Rescue Ace monster from our deck to our hand, which will allow us to go into Impulse, which is a very good play to follow up with. You could either do Impulse or you could just go straight for the Fire Engine. Doesn't really matter too much. The Impulse is going to be easier to trigger off, so you can special summon Fire Engine from deck, and this just gives you more versatility in your plays because you can choose what you want to summon in response to what your opponent does, so you know what you need on field. So now we actually also have 4 Rescue Ace cards that are banished or in our graveyard, so we can also activate Rescue Ace Headquarters, be able to shuffle all those back, and then draw an additional card. So you can see how this deck can build some crazy advantage very quickly. And look at that, we even drew the Fire Attacker that we just shuffled back. So now we'll be able to get an Impulse effect and be able to summon a Fire Attacker off of that as well. So on the end board here, we actually just on turn 1, we just went +5, like super easy, took 0 effort at all. We have our Machina plays online, we have our Rescue plays online. We have so many things going for us. There are so many different plays that we can go into during the opponent's turn. We have IP, so if we need to, we can either go to Underworld Goddess, we can go into really any of our Link monsters that we need. Unicorn is always a great option to be able to spin stuff. There's just so much versatility in this board here. So now that you guys have seen this, you can also see the OTK potential here, of course, because all you need to do is put Citadel, Turbulence, attack mode, and build up stronger Link monsters like a BLS Link or Axis Kotak or Boral Sword, however you want to go for game. There's so many options there that are available to you. So let's go ahead and hop into some games, and we'll see how we do. All right, game one, let's get right into it. Looks like we are going to be losing the rock, paper, scissors, but we are going first. Kind of an interesting choice by our opponent. We did open the Hydrant Air Hoister combo, so let's go ahead and try to start this off. Pray that we have no hand traps to face against, but we do also have Machina Overdrive, which will help us get our Machina stuff online in case this gets interrupted here. There goes the Ash Blossom. Sure. Well, we do have at least Disruption on our turn, or on our opponent's turn here, that we can use to bring out Citadel from the deck, and then we have follow-up plays for the next turn. We can also revive Air Hoister during the opponent's turn so that we can get our field spell out from the deck.
I don't care about losers, color in a conflict up. Nobody know how it's gonna take. Cotton catching a got to shit. That kills it how the buy. Track shit how the foot and I will win.
So the equipped monster cannot be destroyed by card effects. During your main phase, you can special summon a Makonko from your hand or deck with a different original name than the equipped monster. So he's basically using it to get a Makonko from the deck here by equipping to my monster. And then he returns the Air Hoister to my hand. That is fine because I can activate Air Hoister from the hand. Thankfully, you've activated Makonko, so that is all good there. I'm going to wait until my Hydrant hits the field because then my rescue becomes a disruption against my opponent here. Or if needed, I can revive the Air Hoister, get my extra resources, and give Hydrant some extra protection, which is really good. But I also have Machina Overdrive live now as well. Fighting Rondo of the Makonko. Equip to an opponent's monster, take control of it while you control a Makonko monster, but cannot activate its effects while you control it. Okay, so we are now going to chain Machina Overdrive directly to this, and probably also just going to respond to the rescue to get Air Hoister back on field. Or we might save it to be able to revive the Hydrant for later as well. He's going to Ash Blossom the Machina Overdrive. Okay. Ooh, that's a tough one. All right. What does this do? It takes control of it, but cannot activate its effects while you control it. Okay. I am still going to activate Rescue. I'm going to revive the Air Hoister just to have it. I mean, it's not going to change when the effect is live, but I'm going to give this a shot anyways and see what happens. He is unfortunately still able to take with the Makonko equip spell, because I did not get there in time to be able to prevent him from targeting my Hydrant, which is very unfortunate. I definitely should have considered doing rescue sooner. I was fully aware that Makonko had an equipped spell that just takes my stuff. So kind of unfortunate planning there. That was my mistake, unfortunately. So we do have at least Rescue Ace headquarters for the follow-up, as well as a Machina gear frame, which will get us into a Gear King and X, and then we can use that to be able to search for another Hydrant to get a normal summon off of the headquarters, which is going to be very strong. We're also going to be able to set up Citadel in Graveyard, which is exceptional. He's going to be popping our Air Hoister here with Dampier Vampire Sheridan. Not at all going for the normal Makonko game plan. I'm kind of curious as to where he plans on going with this. He's just going to go battle phase, swinging for 26, maybe make a Zeus here? And that is going to fold over into a Zeus. This is going to make things exceptionally difficult. And unfortunately, he does have one of our Rescue Ace Hydrants attached as materials at this point, so headquarters, unfortunately, is not live. We might need to bait out this Zeus so that he can detach the Hydrant from him, and then I can activate headquarters afterwards to be able to get what I need. Oh, Impulse is really, really good. Unfortunately, it does kind of suck against Zeus, because if Zeus activates effects and I chain Impulse to it, it unfortunately is just going to destroy whatever gets summoned, or gets sent to the graveyard anyways. So we'll activate Gear Frame. Pray he doesn't have the third Ash. Okay, good. He does not. So now we are going to add the Machina Unclaspar to our hand, being able to trigger its effect to special summon itself and dump a monster, which means we can dump Citadel in here, which is exceptionally good. Alright, attempting to special summon the Machina Unclaspar. I doubt he has any sort of response here unless he activates Zeus, which would be a terrible time to chain it. So let's go ahead and use our Unclaspar. Actually, in this case, no, I think Citadel is still going to be the right call, unfortunately, here. That might even bait him to go ahead and hit the Zeus effect, because that will prevent our stuff from being destroyed. It will just be sent to the graveyard instead. Let's see if we can bait this out with a Gear Gigant X, perhaps. He is just absolutely not wanting to take the Zeus bait, which is very unfortunate. Still thinking on the Zeus here, whether... Oh, no, he passed back to us. Okay, I was not paying attention, unfortunately. To add the other Rescue Ace, Hydrant. I don't believe he is going to let this resolve. I believe as soon as the headquarters hits the field, that is going to be met with the Zeus. But we will attempt to do this and see what happens. All right, going to normal summon the Rescue Ace Hydrant. Most likely this is where the Zeus will come down before we're able to get the Rhoda effect. Oh, he's letting it happen. Okay, let's go for Turbulence. We could end up folding the Gear Gigant X and the Hydrant into a Barricade Board blocker just to make the Machina Overdrive live and try to get some more draws. That would also end up making our field spell live, but I'm not entirely sure if we want to go that route. So we'll try just getting some resources off the field here to at least make Machina Overdrive live. Hey everyone, just a little note while editing this video, I did make a very big misplay at this point in time, and that was not leaving Hydrant on field, because I didn't realize that if I had just left Hydrant on field, special summon Turbulence, set my 4 back row, as long as the back row hit the field and he didn't respond with Zeus right away, when he did respond with Zeus, since I had Hydrant on field, I could have activated one of my trap cards to be able to negate Zeus's effect so that he's not able to resolve, and then I can get him off the field and be able to OTK or at least deal a lot of damage and get my resources going. So just a little note for you guys, if you're playing this deck, there's a lot of like little interactions like this that you really need to look out for, because this is a very interactive mid-range deck, so you just kind of need to keep your eyes out for stuff like that. Sorry I misplayed during the game, but figured I'd let you guys know in post. All right, back to the video. Oh, actually, no, that makes a lot of sense, because during the end phase, if he ends up Zeusing us, then we can just add the field spell back to our hand. I might just try to do the Overdrive now and see what we can draw off of that top deck. Oh, top decking into the Fire Engine, quite good. We are going to end up baiting this Zeus out very hard here. I mean, it's not necessarily baiting. He is absolutely going to board wipe us and basically ruin our entire day, but we are going to give this a shot. Actually, I have exactly 4 in the graveyard. That is very unfortunate. I feel like as soon as I summon the Turbulence here, he hits the Zeus button, but then I won't be able to get the headquarters recycle. But we will go ahead and do this now, because we will be able to get headquarters next turn. So let's go ahead and banish our spell and Arrow Hoister to attempt to summon Turbulence. If Turbulence is able to resolve and hit the field completely without getting Zeused on summon, then we are able to completely just get all of our spells and traps that we need and be able to destroy this player. I highly doubt he is going to let this finish resolving, though, and this is going to end up very poorly. Okay, so we're going to see Fire Engine hitting the field. Let's see if on summon he decides to Zeus here. I feel... Oh, he's letting us activate Turbulence. He wants us to get all of our advantage off. He wants to destroy or get rid of as many things as he possibly can here. I feel like as soon as we try to enter battle phase, that is when he's going to hit that Zeus button. Let's attempt to go battle phase. He is going to let it happen. I feel like he's just going to Zeus on attack declaration here is the most likely scenario. There goes the Zeus. Okay. So that is going to clear everything on the field, but we do thankfully still have resources in graveyard. We're going to get this headquarters back during the end phase, which means that next turn we can still get our resources back online. This deck is entirely resource management, which does make it a little bit difficult in a situation like this where you're facing down a Zeus that just refuses to give up its materials. Oh, actually going to activate the Rite of Aramesia here. That is very strong. If he ends up with the Wandering Griffin Rider and the token, that would end up being lethal. Okay, we're also going to activate Mikanko of the Uhime. I think this is going to be a clean game from Mikanko Adventure here. Kind of a crazy deck, not necessarily very strong, but just interesting. Zeus really carrying the entire team here, to be honest. Although that vampire play was incredibly strong, being able to steal my monster and then treating it as level 6 for the summon of Vampire Sheridan. That is actually quite impressive. So we're going to see Hare, the Sword of Mikanko, come back out here with the equip spell, Blazing Dance of the Mikanko, and let's see if they are actually able to clean this up. I'm not going to scoop just yet. They are still 400 shy of lethal as of right now. But if they summon... Oh, he's summoning back Rescue Ace Turbulence to my field. Okay. Oh, but that means that... Okay, that is going to be a clean game for Mikanko. Okay, turning Zeus to attack here. We're probably going to see the Hare come in first for the attack to deal 3k to me. Activating the Great Mikanko of Legend, special summoning another Mikanko from hand. No, I believe that is going to be lethal now. Okay, that was a very good attempt. Let's go ahead and go into the next game. Okay, so game 1 didn't go too good for us thanks to our friends Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring and Divine Arsenal AA Zeus, but hopefully game 2 we can kind of clean things up here. You at least got a good show of how the deck performs and how it can build up a crazy amount of advantage super fast. So going to be winning the RPS this time and opting to go first. Not honestly the best hand. Having Urgent Schedule is pretty strong, especially with Impulse. We do also have Overdrive, which is fairly strong, although it's not really live until our Impulse goes off. So here we are praying that our opponent does not top deck Lightning Storm. Urgent Schedule going to be incredibly strong here to use during the opponent's turn, being able to set us up for a lot of things. Rescue we can also set as well if we really want to. Actually, it'd probably be a good idea because Impulse, whatever we summon off of it, we can use to Machina Overdrive, turn into a Citadel, and then be able to revive with the Rescue. So let's go ahead and just set 3 and pass to our opponent. This is a very reactive deck, so this gives us many opportunities to be able to interact with our opponent on their turn. So standby phase, after they draw a card here, we're going to see them go straight to main phase and see what we are up against. It appears to be Virtual World going second, going to start off with the Qinglong. Very rough start, praying they don't have Lulu in hand, although there goes the E-Tail. It doesn't even matter. Okay, let's see if they're playing the Punk Engine along with this to get better synchros, but who knows? Virtual World might very well be able to clean this deck up pretty strong here, especially given that all of their monsters activate in the hand, so unless this E-Telly is a Zayaman, this Impulse is going to be very dead. So let's just go ahead and find out, I suppose. Okay, there's going to come Lulu from the deck, not being able to activate its effects, but there is now a monster Virtual World on field to target. There is going to go the Foxy Tune. Okay, so they are playing the Punk Engine, but choosing not to summon Xiamen from the deck with that E-Telly. Very interesting. I'm guessing the Foxy Tune here is going to be able to fish that out right now. There is going to go the Xiamen to the field here, and now we are going to wait for the Xiamen to activate its effect on field, allowing us to trigger Rescue Ace Impulse from the hand to be able to special summon a Rescue Ace monster from the deck. And then we can also use Urgent Schedule in chain as well, just to give us extra options here, or we can even hold on to the Urgent Schedule until they get a little bit more devastating of a board. If nothing else, the Impulse can set us up at least into a Fire Engine, which can then summon a Hydrant from deck, and then be able to turn our Fire Engine into a Citadel, which is very strong. Just getting our advantage off early here and getting prepped to be able to come back on the crackback, take our opponent down with an OTK, hopefully. If nothing else, we can at least use Citadel once that becomes online to be able to clear their board, which is quite strong. So we're going to be adding another Foxy Tune from deck to hand here, kind of an interesting choice. So let's see here. So we're actually going to be using Foxy Tune's effect again. I believe this is going to be the other effect. So he's going to tribute a Punk monster and special summon this card from his hand. Oh, he just surrendered. I guess the opponent misplayed. Always nice when that happens, right? All right, let's go to game 3. Okay, so game 2 didn't go as well for us either, but we did end up getting the win because our opponent unfortunately misplayed. But you at least see what the deck can do when we don't open the most optimal of hands as well, which is really good. There's always plays to go into. That's part of the reason there's not space for hand traps in this deck. There's also just the reason that hand traps suck. I am always been under that opinion. But let's go ahead and hop into game 3 here and see how we do and see if we can get an actual game going. RPS not looking too good so far, just matching up with everything, and we end up winning it, so let's go ahead and go first. This is a hand, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of the hands of all time. Let's bait out the Ash Blossom right now with this Machina redeployment. Show me Ash. Okay, no Ash Blossom. Good to know there is not a single Ash in this deck. So let's go ahead in this instance. We already have our normal summon reserved, so we're going to go for the Irradiator Megaform combo, just getting straight into our Citadel. Just so we know we have it, we're just going to hold on to these guys in our hand to bait through the rest of our opponent's disruption, should they have any. So let's go ahead and normal summon our Rescue Ace Hydrant here, be able to activate the Fire Engine in response. This is just going to give us bonus bodies to work with. If anything happens from our opponent, we'll be able to use Fire Engine to get extra bodies on field later as well, which could lead into an Impulse that gets into a Turbulence. Just absolutely incredible. We could go straight for the Turbulence now if we wanted to, and I think that actually is the play because that will get all of our back row online, and we can always end up getting the field spell later. So what we shall do here, let's go ahead and fold our Hydrant and our Fire Engine into an IP Masquerena. We're going to hold on to the Machina package because we would much rather have Citadel on field than just a lingering Hydrant. Hydrant is very strong for being able to just make things online and do extra crazy stuff, but we do have ways to get it back, so we're not too worried about that here. I also did forget that we did open the Machina Overdrive, so maybe going the Irradiator Megaform package was not the best way. We could have used these as extenders to not have to use our Hydrant, but it is what it is. So let's go ahead and activate Turbulence here to set for back row. So getting Extinguish, Contain, Alert, and Rescue. Best cards in the deck by far. All right, so we are actually going to be setting 5 back row here, which is just going to be insane. We're actually going to be burning through our whole hand here, which some cases, if you're really trying to manage resources, is not always the best play, but we are still going. He's going to slap down the Nibiru. Okay, well, there turns off our traps until we revive with Rescue here. Very unfortunate to say the least, but we do still have Overdrive. We still have everything that we need here, even if we did not get Citadel access. We do still have the Overdrive to be able to get in there, so it is honestly fine that we went the route that we did. We baited out the Nibiru. He's going to start off the most distant, deepest depths. We are playing against Goatee, everybody. That is good to know. All right, let's go ahead and activate our Rescue here. We're going to special summon back Turbulence to the field here. We are not going to chain alert because we want a Rescue Ace on field so that our traps are alive. All right, so most distant, deepest depths, we are going to be using the effect to be able to banish our Shift from hand, which is actually incredibly strong here. I don't think we have any way to stop any of this right now. We're going to leave our Turbulence on field until our traps are dead or anything is going to happen to our Turbulence, and then we can use Overdrive to be able to just turn it into a Citadel for more disruption. All right, Enoch here coming to hand, which means he just has full Shift Enoch combos. Actually tributing the Nibiru to summon Enoch. Quite incredible, actually. I love it. So we are actually going to... We are going to contain on the Enoch here. We don't want that revival because that gets all of his synchro plays online, and that's going to cause us a lot of problems. We can hold on to this Extinguish until he gets a synchro monster so that we can just pop that and prevent him from going off, hopefully. So he's going to summon Silent Angler from hand here. He still doesn't have a tuner on field. He's just left with a level 4 and a level 6 fish monster. Not really a whole lot he can do with these except for Link Summon. So let's see if there's anything that he is able to accomplish in this scenario. He's just going to pass turn. I absolutely love it. So let's go ahead and just pop this Extinguish now. We are just going to pop this Silent Angler, and we are going to hold on to the Machina Overdrive because this means we get a chance to set stuff with our Rescue Ace Turbulence once again. Okay, so now we unfortunately don't have any Rescue Ace cards in the... Okay, Shift is going to be able to activate here. We are going to let that happen. Unfortunately, it does mean he can quick synchro on our turn, but we do have ways around this. Okay. So, what we are going to need to do here... this is a very tough situation. So, we need to clear off one of our back row. I think what the play is here is we just go Machina Overdrive. We're going to float into Citadel. We just need to do this now so we can get Turbulence off field to be able to add it back with Alert and just kind of get more resources going here. I think this is going to be the best way to establish some sort of advantage against this Goatee player since he is able to loop things continuously every turn. So we're going to see Shift activating its effect here for the quick synchro, being able to go into, I believe, the Ascan, yes, the Bihorned Goatee. So now we will summon out, let's see here, if it's single summon here, when fish card, one card your opponent controls, banish them. So we're going to prevent this guy from getting banished and from being able to banish our stuff. We are going to summon Citadel from the deck to help prevent that. I suppose I could have done, in this case, I could have done Unclassed Bar so that I could dump a Ruin Force to the graveyard, but I think this works out just fine. So we're going to use Citadel effect here, getting rid of the Ascan to clear his board, and then we can actually go Alert into our Turbulence, which will get us a very quick OTK here. We don't even need to use Turbulence's effect to set stuff back. Thankfully, he gave us a fat Nibiru token. So we have everything we need to just clean this game up right here and now. We don't even need to summon the Fire Attacker. We're not going to get greedy. We're not going to run into that Nibiru. He just surrenders. Look at that. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. You got a good example of 3 different scenarios with Machina Rescue Ace. You were able to see a good hand that wasn't able to win. You saw a really crappy hand that won because the opponent misplayed, but you saw that there were still options to work with. And then you saw a really good hand that was a really good back and forth against a Goatee deck. I know Goatee isn't meta, but it's at least still kind of an example to show you how the deck builds advantage and how it can play around certain things. It's very flexible in its maneuvers, and it has a lot of potential to just slap out an OTK. Even without the Nibiru, there was still a line in which we probably could have OTK'd this turn, or at least done some serious damage and kept our opponent on the back foot to be able to end up winning the next turn by over-advantaging them. So there's a ton of stuff you can do with this deck. It's very fun to play with. I definitely recommend you guys try it out at least a couple times. Feel free to mess around with your own builds. I'm still kind of working on ratios myself, but so far in testing, this is what I've been working with, and it's honestly been going very good. If nothing else, it is a very entertaining to play deck, and it has a lot of silly things that you can do with it. And just the fact that it's not necessarily reliant on its extra deck, it gives you that many more options to be able to work with. You can throw in as many crazy techs in the extra deck as you want, or even gives you the option to play Prosperity or Extravagance in the main main deck. I'm not a huge proponent of that myself. I like having the extra deck as a bonus tool. So if you are of the belief that having the extra draws is better, that's totally fine by you. I myself like having the extra utility and versatility of the extra deck to be able to out what my opponent does and gives me more plays to work around. But that is all I got for you guys today for the Machina Rescue Ace test hands and games here. I just wanted to give you a showcase of how the deck performs because, like I said, it's really hard to do a combo tutorial on a deck that is so versatile like this. There's no really like single or even multiple combo lines to go down. It's just a matter of what you draw and how you choose to play it out. Typically, you're going to be ending on the Turbulence set 4 pass at the very least, with Machina being able to get you something like Citadel or even a Ruin Force on field that can float into a bunch of resources. Essentially, all that you're aiming to do with the deck is out-resource your opponent and then use the Machina engine combined with the Rescue Ace OTK potential to just clean your opponent out after out-resourcing them. So that's all I got for you guys today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button down below, as well as subscribe so you can get more content like this in the future. And also, if you guys haven't checked it out yet, go look at our Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel League trailer. It just dropped here a few days ago, and we are absolutely excited about this project. We won't spoil too much for you, but the first episode will be coming out December 1st, so keep tuned for that. All right, thank you guys so much for joining, and remember, good fun. Have luck.